Hello and welcome to another in this series of in-depth conversations around the work of Southwest Grid for Learning. And in this session I'm joined by my colleague Louisa Jeffcoat, who is being part of a significant project we've been working on that's just coming to an end this year, which is the SELMA project. Louisa, welcome. Tell us a little bit about what SELMA is or means.
Yes, welcome. Nice to be here, Ken. Nice to chat to you today about SELMA. We've both been involved in SELMA for the last 2 years.
Oh boy, haven't we?
And it's been a great ride.
Yeah, it has, yeah.
And it's been a project that I think has excited both of us and everybody around us.
Yeah.
And the whole team here at SWGfL as well.
So in a nutshell, what is it?
Okay, so if I have to explain it really simply, I would say it's a project that helps to create conversation around what online hate speech is and ways to hack it.
Online hate speech and ways to hack it. That's a word that we use often, isn't it? But it has a whole range of different meanings. In the context of the SELMA project, which is, as Louisa quite rightly says, is around online hate speech, hacking has a different meaning, isn't it? Because we associate hacking with breaking into the Pentagon and stealing all of their data and stuff, but in this case it's different, isn't it?
Yes.
So
it has negative connotations. Hacking always looked at as something negative, something criminal even sometimes, but actually we want to change the conversation around online hate speech, and I think sometimes we say tackling online hate speech, but actually hacking for us is really what I like that you sometimes describe it as disrupting online hate speech. It's actually looking at the cause of it, looking at why it occurs, looking at what it is, and then really thinking of ways of how can we disrupt it, how can we make it stop, how can we support people online that suffer from it, but how can we also work with the people who perhaps cause it sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's kind of that disruptive behaviour that leads to change.
Yeah, and SELMA is an acronym, is it not?
Yes.
So most of you may very well remember SELMA from the Alabama Black Rights Marches back in the 50s with Dr. Martin Luther King. SELMA was a key component when they were stopped at the bridge by the National Guard. SELMA for us is an important thing around changing culture, and SELMA stands for
Social and Emotional Learning for Mutual Awareness.
And that social and emotional learning lens is a key component of SELMA, I think.
Yes.
And so some of the most effective behavioural, cultural change routes have been through social emotional learning, sort of focusing on those particular aspects. So social emotional learning is at the heart of this, as quite rightly as Louisa says. Media, so, start from a point, how does hate speech make me feel? What are my emotions? How do I feel? How do I manage those feelings? And then moves into, how does it make other people feel? And then how can I begin to manage those relationships too? So that really important start, isn't it?
Yes.
And then we move on to media analysis, which is understanding the problem and looking at it with a critical and analytical eye.
Definitely, the critical thinking element of things.
Yeah.
So how we consume what's put in front of us, how we ask the questions and challenge what's put in front of us, how we try and kind of read hidden meanings sometimes and kind of hidden agenda. So that's a conversation that's very topical at the moment as well.
And then once you've analysed the situation, produce something. So we go into the media production. That could be in whatever medium you feel most comfortable in, can't it?
Yes. And we started with social and emotional learning when we worked on Enable.
Yeah.
So that was the project
That's
that initiated
anti-bullying
us.
project.
Yes, so that's what initiated us again, a truly European project which looked at developing social and emotional learning to address and reduce online bullying in schools. So that's kind of where we started with this, and our path started in terms of social and emotional learning and gathering the expertise we have here at SWGfL to kind of use that methodology.
And we are based in educational technology, so that media production part for us is really important.
Really.
And then taking that and going apply it to affect change. So where's the best place to take the thing that you've done to disrupt that hate speech? So these different elements, social emotional learning, media analysis, media production and citizenship, affecting change, are important components of this project. But I think what makes it really stand out as well is the peer mentoring section. Do you want to just tell us a little bit about the peer mentoring and who's been leading on that?
Yes, absolutely. So within the UK, there are two UK partners to this European project. So that's Diana Award and ourselves. Diana Award, as we know, are steeped in this, so they are all about
They've brought their brilliant expertise to
So the peer-to-peer approach, really the belief that young people will learn and listen to other young people. So the approach within Enable was looking at peer-to-peer support in online bullying, kind of instances, and this time they're looking at online hate, and again how young people can support each other.
Yeah, so it's worth saying that this is part of a wider European project. We're not just doing this on our own. SELMA is part of an EU Commission initiative to tackle hate speech, and so we're working with colleagues from a European School Network who are based in Brussels and who are the administrative lead. Ourselves, we're responsible for producing the resources and the toolkit, which we'll talk about in a moment. Diana Award here in the UK, who are responsible for providing the expertise around the peer mentoring, but we're also working with colleagues at
in Greece.
In Greece, that's right.
Who looked at the academic side of things and the research
phase.
Colleagues in Germany, so who are actually based at the German Safe Internet Centre, and also the Cyberhus helpline in Denmark.
In Denmark, who work with particularly vulnerable groups. So
people,
all this collective of expertise is brought together to produce what has become SELMA. So why does it stand out? Why is it different?
I think that the European, kind of the truly European collaboration, I think for me is really important.
Gives it a wider perspective.
We've got a wider perspective there, a lot of partnerships in different countries, and makes this toolkit available in a number of languages, which is so invaluable. And we've already had interest in other countries outside. But also I think the SEL, the social and emotional learning, is its unique element. I think I truly believe that, and it's been produced by us here, but with great support and collaboration from all of our partners.
So you mentioned the heart of this thing, which is the SELMA toolkit for tackling online hate speech. So you'll find all of this stuff in the information as it appears behind us here, but if you want to have a quick look at it as we're talking, you'll find it at hackinghate.eu, hackinghate.eu. The web address will be on the screen. The toolkit's been an important part of it, hasn't it? You know, it's become much bigger than we thought it was going to be. Do you just want to talk about?
It's our biggest contribution for the project.
Yeah.
It's our main role within the project. So we led on that. We had a writing team that produced it. You led that writing
Over
team.
100 plus resources,
Over
we have to say.
100 plus resources, and there are 9 different themes within the toolkit, and it starts literally from what is online hate speech, and progresses from there.
So that's an interesting question, isn't it? We ran some focus groups with children in the UK here. The whole summer project's focused for roughly between 11 to 16-year-olds, but actually it bleeds off either side of that. I think there's a lot of useful material you can use with younger children and some older children too. And we started off with some focus groups, did we not, down in beautiful Plymouth, where it's all clotted cream and cows down there, absolutely, and worked with some 12 to 14-year-olds, 14 to 16-year-olds.
Yes.
And we started with the what is hate speech thing.
Yes.
And what did we find? We found that they found it really difficult, didn't they, to understand the differences between hate speech and bullying, trolling.
And bullying, and just generally
or aggressive, even just
content.
ordinary aggressive dissent online.
They did, and they had some understanding. I think it's fair to say all of them are really interested in the conversations. They all enjoyed the discussions, and actually all walked away from the classroom saying,
thinking differently, and we want to talk about this more at school. Why do we have one lesson for the year on this? And it was all things that really moved them, and they found relevant and had opinions on. But that trend of
of not quite being able to distinguish between online bullying and online hate speech, we saw across all the European countries, because these focus group sessions run, every.
And to be honest, for most
country.
adults too.
Yes.
If you actually asked adults to define hate speech, they probably wouldn't come up with the phrase protected characteristics, and that's at the heart of a lot of this.
Yeah.
Okay, look, there's a wealth of material, and we could talk about this for an awfully long time, but I'm going to promote this toolkit because I think it is different. This toolkit is not just for teachers.
No.
It's meant for any professional who's working with children and young people and want to provide the right discussions, the right interventions, the right education about not only understanding hate speech to how to affect change.
Yes.
The heart of this is in how we've designed the mechanism. So, there's a European graveyard of websites out there around lots of different topics, including hate, that are just lots and lots of documents. We've broken everything down into the smallest components so that you can go in with no prior knowledge and cherry pick the bits that you want, mix and match.
Yeah.
And literally the mechanism allows you to do that. You click a button, it prints off all the things that you've chosen. So you can customize this resource no matter how far along that road you are with any of these things: SEL, media production, hate speech, media analysis, peer mentoring. If you wanted to start a peer mentoring scheme tomorrow, use SELMA to do it. Use SELMA to do it. So again, it's been an amazing road. We're almost at the end. Do you want to mention any particular promos? So we have a MOOC, don't we?
We have a MOOC that's launching in September by the European SchoolNet team, which has already got about 300 professionals and teachers from Europe signed up. Please find out the details.
For people there who don't know what a MOOC is, it's not some sort of strange cow,
no,
is it?
It's an online course that will enable you to do self-guided learning. So it provides all the materials and supports you in learning about online hate speech. And it's completely free. So you could use it as your part of your professional development. You could use it to find resources that you want to use in your classroom or with the young people you work with. So it's invaluable.
So there's the MOOC. If you're interested in that, sign up for the MOOC. You'll find details on the SELMA website, hackinghate.eu. We also have a SELMA Ambassador program, which we're just forming. So if you really like this program and you think, this is for me, I want to do more around this, I want to build this into my own professional development, sign up for the SELMA Ambassador program. And in October, the 10th is it, of October, we have the final SELMA conference in Brussels. Again, you know what, if you fancy that day over in beautiful Brussels to go and see the work that the SELMA project did, you'll find details again on the SELMA website. Louisa, thanks very much for spending some time with us as well.
I enjoyed it.
As you said, it's been a really interesting journey with SELMA, and we're looking forward to SELMA 2 and beyond after the November. Thank you very much, and thank you very much for watching. If you're interested again in more of these videos, in looking at these in-depth conversations around what we do and the latest developments in online safety, then go along to the Southwest Grid for Learning website, swgfl.org.uk. Thank you very much.